If your business sends email newsletters, the next 3 minutes is likely to change the entire scope of how you approach email automation. I'm Kate Murray, and you're watching The Daily Digital.
Today's video is a continuation of yesterday's topic on email automation. So today is a much deeper dive into nurturing. So if you didn't see the first video in this series, I've put a link in the comments below. Make sure you go back and watch it later.
Now, because I worked in corporate and agency marketing for so many years, I have literally watched marketing automation transform over the last decade.
So many businesses are still sending out email newsletters. And by the way, that's not the same thing as using email automation to increase your ROI. In fact, sending newsletters will very rarely, if ever, provide any return on investment for your business. So let me show you the difference. Go back to basics for a moment and put yourself in your customer's shoes.
So we've all got way too much email in our inbox, right? Every time you unsubscribe from something, it feels like you get 10 more emails.
I know I've even changed my email address just to get rid of all the noise. So think about your typical email newsletter. A company shares once a month or maybe even once a week what's going on at their company. Maybe they've moved into a new location, or maybe they're welcoming a new employee, or if you're a blogger, you're sharing an excerpt and then linking to the last 4 blogs that you wrote that month. So now, think about how you feel when you're busy opening emails and you receive a business newsletter that's filled with all kinds of different things going on. Maybe one thing catches your eye, but the reality is you're way too busy to click through on every single link in there. There's just too many choices and you really don't have time. Maybe you'll come back later, but the data shows that that's not likely.
So here's a newsflash. Tell me something good, Kate Murray. If you send email newsletters, you're not going to like this, but it's the truth.
Most people don't care about what's new in your business this week. What people care about is how you can solve their problem, if they happen to have a problem that you have a solution for. So how does this all translate into sending automated campaigns that actually generate revenue? Now, if you've ever worked in sales or marketing, this is all going to become crystal clear in just another moment. If you haven't, then just stay with me here.
The return on investment for email marketing is 320%. That number is just crazy, but it's only applicable to the businesses that are doing it right. Are you doing it right?
The key is to set up your email automation using just one nurturing sequence at a time that corresponds to your audience's exact place in the sales funnel. What does that mean, and how do I know this? Because so much automated intelligence exists across the world that allows thousands of marketers every day to analyze the data. And by the way, the data isn't guessing anymore. In the past, a business would market their brand by placing an ad in a magazine or on a billboard. And back then, they never had an accurate way to measure how effective their ad was. So all these dollars were spent with marketing, but how did they know if it really worked? They didn't. If they were smart in 1995, they set up different phone numbers so they could track where people saw their ad. But that's old news because now we can accurately track email clicks on both your website and within your email marketing campaign. And that's how we know that newsletters are just not effective. So instead of sending another email newsletter, here are the steps that you need to take today. Write down the exact problem that your audience has. Then write down the exact solution that you provide that solves their problem. Apply your solution to the sales funnel. Now, if that sounds a little confusing, let's look at a real live example. In the world of digital marketing, this is called journey mapping. You need to figure out whether your audience is in the awareness stage, the consideration stage, or the decision stage of the sales funnel. These are 3 markedly different phases of decision making as to whether they will ultimately buy what you have to offer. And unless you know what stage they're in, you cannot prepare the correct nurturing sequence. So how do you know what stage they're in? Digitally, this is called segmenting, or grouping your website visitors into categories based on measurable actions that they take on your website. For example, you gain some perspective on your audience by paying close attention to what blogs they're reading. To accomplish this in a very early stage, if you're used to sending email newsletters and you're looking to transition to automated emails for the purpose of generating revenue, then you'll need to begin by sending an email for the sole purpose of grouping your audience into these different categories. This can be as simple as sending an email that provides only two different options. So, say your business or blog is about sustainability and gardening. Ultimately, you're selling a digital course that teaches people how to build a bin for composting. So, your blog topics are likely to all relate to gardening and composting.
If you already have an email list, but you only have one email list that isn't grouped into different categories, what you want to do is start by sending an email that offers only two different choices.
Click here to read about learning the importance of composting for sustainability, or click here for a cost comparison of buying different types of compost bins compared to building your own out of leftover household materials. That clearly separates your audience into beginners versus advanced composters. Now, you know based on who clicked which link where they are in their personal journey. So then, ultimately, if your goal is to sell that digital course on how to build your own composting bin, then you know how to properly nurture people based on where they are in their educational journey.
Next, you can take measures to properly group people when they first sign up for your list.
You can do this in a few different ways. One way is to add a choice to your opt-in form. So instead of asking only for their email address, you'll add an additional question that will give you the answer as to which email list you're going to put them on. It might be something like, what type of gardener are you? I'm a beginner or I'm advanced. Now you know how to nurture them. This can also be accomplished by taking a quick survey on your Facebook page or even emailing your current list and saying that you want to provide content that's relevant to them. So you're taking a quick survey to see what your readers are most interested in. As they click, you'll go back and analyze your data to find out more about your audience. As you can see, talking to your audience about precisely what they're interested in is a much better way to nurture them through the different stages of their buyer's journey and toward making a purchase from you. If you'd like to learn even more about how all of this fits together, pick up a copy of my new ebook, The Power of Email Marketing. There's a link in the comments below. You'll also find links to my affiliate partners for the different email automation tools that I love using. If you enjoyed this video, please click on that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen so you don't miss out on my best digital marketing tips and tricks. See you next time.